We now come to the conclusion of the original trilogy. So, does it live up to the previous two? And does it have a satisfying conclusion? It's complicated. Hi everyone, I'm Firelink Frontier. Welcome to the channel. If you'd like to support the channel, please like the video and subscribe. After a 3-year wait, Return of the Jedi released in 1983. It was directed by Richard Marquand, with the screenplay by Lawrence Kasdan and George Lucas. Lucas again didn't want to direct, and Empire Strikes Back director Irvin Kershner also declined, due to spending 2 years on the previous film. Steven Spielberg, David Lynch, and David Cronenberg were all considered, but Richard Marquand was chosen. However, Lucas kept a strong presence on set, due to Marquand's inexperience with special effects. Marquand joked that it's rather like trying to direct King Lear with Shakespeare in the next room. The film picks up with the rescuing of Han Solo from Jabba the Hutt. Han Solo was originally not in the script, as Harrison Ford was only contracted for 2 films. He also didn't like Star Wars, and Lucas didn't expect he would return. His character had been frozen in carbonite, so that his character could be left there if Ford declined to return, but luckily he decided that he would return. Luke and Leia go to rescue Han Solo, and we see Luke Skywalker is now much more confident. He's wearing black Jedi robes, and he's completely calm and confident. But he and Leia are captured. Jabba wants to feed Luke to the Sarlacc pit, but luckily Luke has a plan to escape. Lando Calrissian is among Jabba's people, and R2-D2 has Luke's new lightsaber, which is now green. Luke manages to escape, and rescue the temporarily blinded Han Solo. Leia kills Jabba, and his barge is destroyed. Boba Fett is also killed, and I never got the hype around this character. People seem to love him, but he's barely in either of the films, and I never really got why he was so liked. Luke, Han and Leia are reunited, but only briefly, before Luke plans on returning to Dagobah. We learn that the Empire is constructing a second Death Star, but this time it's protected by a shield, with the generator on the nearby moon of Endor. Luke heads back to Dagobah to see Yoda. Yoda was also not supposed to return, but Marquand wanted to resolve Luke's dilemma at the end of the last film, about going to rescue Han and Leia and finishing his training. Also a line was added to have Yoda confirm what Vader said about being Luke's father. George Lucas had consulted a child psychologist, and he didn't want younger moviegoers to dismiss Vader's claim about being Luke's father as a lie. Luke returns to Dagobah to complete his training with Yoda, and Yoda dies. Obi-Wan's spirit tells Luke that Leia is his sister. This is where we learn what the line, "There is another," means from the last film. And yes, that makes these scenes a lot weirder.
I felt a great disturbance in the Force.
I don't know if they had it all planned out in the previous film or not, because I'm not sure why you'd have those scenes if they did. Obi-Wan tells Luke that in order to complete his training, Luke must face Vader again. Luke, Han and Leia head to Endor to destroy the shield generator, protecting the second Death Star. They are captured by Ewoks, and I'm not the biggest fan of the Ewoks. Apparently they were originally supposed to be Wookiees, and I think that would have worked a lot better to be honest, but it is what it is I suppose. After they befriend the Ewoks, Luke tells Leia that she's his sister, and she says that she's always known. Now I know that this line gets talked about a lot, as it makes things even stranger, but I think she means she's always known through a kind of Force connection, rather than literally known. Luke then surrenders to Imperial forces, so that he's brought before Darth Vader. He tries to convince his father that there's still a good man in him, but initially he fails. Vader brings Luke before the Emperor, and these parts are the best in the film. All the scenes between the Emperor, Vader and Luke are great, especially compared to the Ewok scenes. Lando and General Akbar are leading an assault on the Death Star, but the Emperor reveals that the Death Star is in fact fully operational, and he begins firing on the rebel fleet. The Emperor attempts to get Luke to succumb to his anger and turn to the dark side. Meanwhile, Han is captured by Imperial forces, where the Ewoks launch an attack. The Battle of Endor is pretty cool, but it's not as good as Hoth. The Ewoks really take away from the seriousness for me. They manage to destroy the shield generator, allowing Lando to attack the Death Star. Luke battles Darth Vader again, this time almost beating him. This is great as it shows how much training he's done, and how his character is developed. This time he cuts off Vader's hand, and I love when he sees Vader's prosthetic hand, and it's just like his own. He throws down his lightsaber, not wanting to become like his father. Enraged, the Emperor plans to kill Luke. He tortures him with Force lightning. And now we come to the worst change that George Lucas made. As Luke is being tortured, Vader shouts "No" before stopping the Emperor. The silence before was perfect, and I can't stand this change. As I said in my New Hope video, this is the only change that I can't stand. While a lot of the others annoy me, they don't bother me nearly as much as this. Vader chucks the Emperor off the side, redeeming himself, but the lightning fatally wounds him, and before he dies, he asks Luke to take off his mask so that he can see his son with his own eyes. This is one of my favourite scenes in the film, as the two look at each other face to face for the first time, before Vader dies. Luke then escapes the Death Star before it's destroyed. The changes made to the ending are actually some of the positive changes George Lucas made. Adding in new scenes from around the other planets actually adds to the ending, and I much prefer the new music. Luke burns his father's body on a pyre, and is reunited with Han and Leia for the celebrations, and the film ends. Overall, I'd say the film ends satisfyingly, with great scenes between Vader, Luke and the Emperor. I'm not a fan of the Ewoks, as I've said, but I still enjoy the Battle of Endor, and I like the ending celebrations as well. Much like the changes to Boba Fett's voice, I'm also not sure about adding Hayden Christensen into the original. I mean, I get why they did it, but it doesn't sit right with me. Removing an actor from his work all those years later just feels wrong. So for my rating, I'd give the film 6.5 out of 10. It's not my favourite, but there are some good moments, and it has a satisfying ending to the trilogy. So that's all the original films reviewed. Of those three, Empire Strikes Back is my favourite, followed by A New Hope, and then Return of the Jedi. I liked all of them, and together they form a great trilogy, with a satisfying beginning, middle and end. I'm Firelink Frontier. I hope you've enjoyed the video and thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, please like the video and subscribe.